What's going on, guys? My name is Yellow S2K and welcome to my full in-depth review of MXGP 3. There's a lot of content in this game and I'm going to fly through everything this game has to offer, but I'm going to try to do it as quickly as possible. Hopefully this will help some of you that are on the fence and you're not sure if you want to pick the game up. Hopefully this will convince you to buy the game, because I'll tell you right now, spoiler alert, it's a good game. It's a great game, and anybody that likes Moto or likes some sort of competitive racing, I think you'll really enjoy this game. I think you have to enjoy it for what they give you, because they give you a lot. It might not be... It might be a little bit different than other games, but honestly, let me explain to you why I think that is a positive. There's just so much here, so I'm going to try to fly through it really quickly. First things first, we're going to customization. That's one thing that a lot of people probably have questions with. We'll start with bikes. All you guys probably know there are 450s, 252 strokes, as well as your 254 strokes and 125 two-strokes. So they have the two-strokes in the game now, which is really cool. I'll show you a little bit of gameplay on that later. But let's get through the customization before we get into actual gameplay. We're going to hop to my KTM 450, and first things you notice when you get into the garage is it just looks really sick. The models, the graphics, whatever, it just looks really cool. The particles floating in the air, the background in the garage or whatever, it's just really, really cool. First thing when you come into customization, there's this block at the bottom, appearance. Let's click on that. Graphics kits, you can come through here and there are so many different options. You can see there's stuff like what I have on here now, that is a little bit more of a clean stock look, and then there's stuff like that, another good stock one. It looks pretty, that may as well be on a showroom floor brand new, right? But then they also have stuff that's a little bit crazier. So look at this one called graffiti. I mean, that's pretty wild, right? So I think there's something for everyone when you fly through all these. Again, lots of different options. Pretty cool. Now, in this appearance block, you also have all of these different things you can change the colors of. So your clamps, for example. Right now I have black clamps on. Say you wanted to go with gold. I mean, I don't think I'm going to do that on this bike. You could maybe do orange, but I really dig the black. I have already customized this bike, but it's pretty cool. You can change the color of all these different parts. Your clamps, I have orange hubs on this bike, for example, but if you wanted, go for gold. You know what I mean? Foot pegs, I have my foot pegs black because I thought it looked cooler. Again, all these different colors for all these different parts. Levers, my levers are black, you might notice. The caps, I have orange up here. Again, any color you want. So just lots of different stuff here. Clutch guards, spokes, nipples, brake cables. You can change your number to like a black or a white number. Just a lot of options. It's really, really cool. And that's just the beginning. You can come into parts here and it's the same thing. Tons of stuff under each one of these brands. So you click on handlebars, grips, whatever. You click on whatever part you want to change, and here are the different companies. ODI, for example. Say you want to put ODI handlebars on your bike. You fly through all the different options. Say you want pro tapers like I have on right now. I think they look super sick. But just so many options. It's really, really cool. Come to Renthal, as you would expect, tons of different bars here. And it's that way for all of these different companies. Pretty cool. And it's the same way for every single part that is available to buy here. Grips. Obviously, I have some grips on here that I picked. They just looked kind of cool, but you know what? I should probably put some pro tapers on here since I'm running pro tapers anyways. Let's put these white ones on. Just looks kind of clean. Once you pick a handlebar, you obviously have all of the different options for your bar pad, which is pretty cool. Let's change it up. Let's spend more money. Let's put the orange one on there since we're already doing orange everything else. It's almost too much, but again, to each their own, right? You can come here. You want to put handguards on your bike. Tons of different options. It's so cool how many different options are available under each category here. Again, that's just UFO. Tons of different colors, different models under each brand. It is just so cool. You're going to have so many options that so many people are going to have different looking bikes. It's going to be incredible. Again, tons of options under each brand, and it's the same way with everything. Exhaust, for example. Let's go all the way to the end. Let's go to Yoshimura. Okay, so boom, we can do a full carbon, which looks really, really sick. One thing you might notice is at the top right, the statistics: acceleration, braking power, speed, and handling. Whatever parts you put on your bike change those statistics. So, for example, right now, if you can look real closely, there's actually a negative in front of acceleration and speed. So I'm actually going down from, you know, if like for this exhaust, for example, I'd go all the way down to 8.3. When I go back with what I actually have on here, this FMF over here, you can see it's at 10.0. So this is a better exhaust. So same thing. If I want to switch to this one, it would actually take me down to 9 instead of 10. So lots of different options. It's really cool. I mean, if you want to make your own look, it is available. I love it. I love all the different exhausts. It's really, really cool. Tires, same thing. This all changes. So for right now, I have the stock tire on. Let's put a Pirelli on here. Boom. And it improved the handling of the bike. So just so cool. I love how it actually changes this. So at the beginning in the career, you're trying to win races to make money, and then you're coming, you're like, sweet, I can get that next exhaust. And that's what makes it so cool, because it's not just visual, it's also a performance thing. So again, stock wheels on here. Let's throw some Excels on it. I've already purchased these. Boom, black Excels. So sick. I just love it, man. Again, stock suspension here. Let's throw some, well, maybe not Olin's. Let's throw something a little bit different. Let's throw the Marzocchis are red. I'm gonna do these WPs because they're black, and that looks really cool on this bike, doesn't it? I love it. I love it. Again, there's a performance increase there. Brakes. Let's throw Brembos on this sucker. Let's do the gold. Why not? So you can see brakes, suspension, rims, tires, exhaust, handguards, bar pad, hand grips, handlebars, and you have your graphics kit and colorization of parts. So tons of customization just on bikes, and I really, really like that. that really makes this game. Again, just a quick one to show you a different looking bike. Here is a Husky that I made. Tons of gold. The forks are almost too much, but I said the hell with it. It's a two-stroke, right? Let's make it look ridiculous. Let's make it look cool. So again, this is a different one where I've modified it pretty much everything on here. It has all new parts. So you can really make your own bike depending on what you want to do. Again, same thing with the rider. I'm going to fly through this one a little bit quicker because there is just so much. You have two different outfits you can do. So here's the one that I kind of scrapped together at the beginning. It's not my favorite, but again, to each their own. This is actually not bad. I got a Bell Moto 9 carbon helmet, I think, and the Oakley air brakes or something. I'm not sure, but there's just a lot here. Let me show you my other outfit, and then we'll go through everything this has to offer. This is for my Honda team that I'm on right now in the game, and it's just really, really cool. There's so much customization. Check this out. 60, boom. A Cherubies, boom. AGU, so much. I mean, there are so many different options under each category. I mean, you can find stuff that, look, this looks pretty cool with this. It's like you could find so many different things that would really make you stand out, especially if you're playing multiplayer. It's just insane how much content is here. Again, this is just helmets. It's this way with every different thing you can do here. So let's back out a little bit. Well, again, we're going to try to fly through this. Oakleys. Look at all those options. A million goggles. I mean, it's nuts. 100%. Say you want to ride. That would look pretty cool with this, right? Tons of options. We'll keep with the Oakleys, but it's that way under every single brand here for goggles. You're going to be able to find some really sick stuff. Gear. Let's go through Fox. Tons of gear. And there's some of the more European stuff, brands that I'm not really familiar with. But there's even stuff like 7. I mean, there are so many different gear sets here. It's so sick. I love it. I absolutely love it. So anyway, there's just so much customization here that is one of the definite strengths of this game. And something you definitely can't overlook, because you can't really get this anywhere else unless you're playing a game where you modify it like MX Simulator. So anyway, tons of customization, but let's get into gameplay. I know that's a little long-winded, but you guys needed to see that customization. Obviously, you have your multiplayer, and it's pretty cool. You can come in here, say you want to create a match. You can do a Grand Prix, you can do an MXON, or you can do an actual full championship with your buddies. It's really cool. You can do an 18 race championship, you know? It's really, really cool. Obviously, you can change the class. You can force the physics to the pro physics, which I would highly recommend, and I'll get into that later. Obviously, your laps, do you want to do full qualifying and go for lap times? I mean, you can get this to be a pretty competitive, pretty serious game. You vote on weather and track selection if you want, change the AI difficulty or no AI if you want. There's just so many different options. Again, that's just multiplayer. So let's hop into single player, and I can show you a little bit more of what the gameplay is like. If you come into here, obviously you have your career. Now, in your career, you have a full championship that you're running. Now, at the beginning, you start just on a bike and you try to make money by just participating in races, and then sponsors will offer you jobs, basically, or not offer you jobs, but support. So if you come to interest at the bottom here, you can go over to sponsor interest. Now, say MX2 class, which is your starting class. You come through here, you sign with different sponsors, you come through, and it's really cool. You're like, uh-oh, if I win these next couple races, then maybe GoPro's going to be interested in me. I can hire them as a sponsor. Or not hire them, but, you know, they can hire me, I guess. But pretty cool. There's a sponsorship there, and same thing for teams over on this side. So your team interest. So right now I could join Monster Kawasaki. You know what I mean? There's all these different options. It's really, really cool. I'm actually on this Honda HRC team, so you'll see that bike here shortly. That's just interest. Your season information, that's just more results. You can look at the whole calendar. Now again, these are all the tracks that are in the game. I'm going to go through them pretty quickly here, but there are a lot of tracks in the game. It's pretty cool. All of your almost standard tracks. I know they vary depending on what year, but at the end here, you know, Glen Helen and Charlotte Motor Speedway from this year, and a few others that were that kind of go on a rotation. But it's really cool. Tons of tracks, more than you need. It's pretty cool. There are game tips. This is, to be honest, nothing that really matters much to me. But there is a compound. So let's hop into the compound. Obviously, at the beginning here, you can select your bike. I think we're just going to go with whatever I have selected because it doesn't matter. But I do want to show you race options. Now, this is just more how you have things set up. Weather conditions, clear. Now, you have a few different physics options. If you've never played a game like this ever, then standard's probably a decent way to start. But I highly, highly recommend going to pro because that'll be just the way it needs to be. You have your brakes switched up. It forces you to have a back brake and a front brake that are different. And you can also change your transmission to manual, so you actually have to shift, which makes a huge difference, a big improvement. And I'll get more into some of that a little bit later. But let's just hop into the compound, and I can at least show you a little bit of gameplay. And to tell you the truth, where this game shines is when you're actually racing against the other guys. When you're playing just by yourself, it doesn't showcase as well. So again, I am shifting myself. I'm using an Xbox 360 controller, so X and Y are my shifting, up and down. And then everything else is pretty straightforward. It's kind of your normal moto setup. Your right stick, I'm leaning back. My left stick steers left and right. And obviously right stick, leaning forward and backwards. So, and actually you can lean inwards. You can see it's all your weight from the right stick and then just steering with your left. Pretty standard two stick setup there. Now I've only put like 2 laps on the compound because I just went straight to serious racing and stuff, so this will be interesting getting this figured out. And again, remember I'm on, holy crap. Okay, I know I'm trying to showcase how good this game is, and I'm not doing myself any favors. I've never actually had anything like that happen. But I guess it's a game, right? That funny stuff is going to happen. But I actually think this game is really good. A lot of people have opinions already made up about this game from just watching. But I'm going to tell you right now, where this game shines is once you play it and you start to understand really what makes the game good. And I'm going to get pretty deep into what I think makes it good. But to start this off, let's just burn a couple laps, see what this compound is like. It's just like your testing or your proving grounds. That's not a big gap. I guess we're going on this trail here. Like, there are a couple tracks. Ooh, I think there's the 2 here. Again, I haven't messed with this compound much, but we just switched from one track to another. That first one you start at is like a supercross track, which is interesting because there's not really any supercross in the game other than that. But try to hold it really tight. Now the gameplay, the one thing I'm gonna get a negative out of the way first. The in-air physics are not great. I'm sorry, but they're not to my liking, and they're not to a lot of people's liking. But let me stop you there. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, the whips aren't that great and things like that, and you know they're not the best in class. But really, no one's doing that very well right now. Look at the other motocross games. No one's really doing whips well unless you go a little bit farther back to some other games, or if you're playing like MX Simulator, something a little bit more serious. But so that is the one con of the game, but don't let that stop you. You'd be a fool to let that make you think this game is shit. I understand. You're gonna look at that and go, I don't know, the whips are kind of they're not as free flowing as you'd like, or something along that nature. There's a whip. It's pretty canned. You can bring it back. You can make it a little bit bigger, smaller, things like that. That's what she said. But in the end, it ends up being something that really doesn't matter when you get to gameplay and actual racing and enjoying the game. But where this game shines is line choice, traction, and just overall skill it takes to go properly quick. A lot of people play these games, and a lot of them are pretty easy to pick up, and this one's easy to pick up as well for your average consumer. But at the same time, if you want to start taking this real serious, the way you're going to go really quick is if you're going to hit your lines correctly. And they give you a lot of great, I guess, ways to get around the track. Now, obviously, I'm manually shifting. That gives me one way of, I guess, an input on the bike, right? through my shifting, I can really change how I'm riding. I could ride a little bit tighter and ride down a gear, or I could ride up a gear and try to just really carry speed around the outside, and that's all up to me. That's why I highly recommend running with manual transmission on. Also, I think you're able to utilize the power of the bike more instead of using the automatic transmission that might not shift the best at times. So, first things first, shifting, that's a way to go. You have to do that. Next thing. The way you have the brakes separated, if you have it on Pro Physics, again, another must. I know it might make it a little bit more challenging for people that aren't used to this, but if you'll get used to it quick. You really will. Being able to get on the back brake into corners really gives you a chance to rotate. Like right there, you can see I was able to kick my back end out a little bit. Now I'm doing that in corners. Now just like in real life, if you're riding a dirt bike, you're going to be doing your back brake is going to be a lot for stabilization. So say I'm hauling ass into a corner and I'm like, oh crap, I really need to tidy myself up. I really need to clean this up. You can kind of get on that back brake to help you either rotate into the corner or help you keep that back end in line. It's just one of those things that you'll kind of learn through playing the game. But having it separated is just so sweet. It just gives you that option. Say you're going a little too hot into a corner like that and you want to, I need to get rotated. There's just a lot of options. And I know it's maybe a little hard to show here on this compound, but wait till we get into a race with AI and you can really see once ruts develop and things like that. And again, that gets me into my next point of what is so good about this game. I said it's all about line choice and it's nice to be able to shift manually and the brakes are separate, but that doesn't really get into actual, gameplay and how it feels, right? Those are just options and things that maybe improve it. But once you get into actual gameplay, it's easy to blow corners at the beginning and not understand and be like, this sucks, this isn't great, but just wait. Take a little bit of time and you'll start to learn that, wow, if you really set yourself up into a corner really well, you can find that spot where you can really just start to carry a lot more speed. Like right now, I'm pushing it quite a bit more than I was before. You'll notice I start to catch some ruts from my last lap, and they'll wait till you get onto a race with all the AI, with 20 people on the gator. I gotta look and see how many. I don't remember how many you could have in a race, but the ruts actually grab you. There is a sense of traction in this game like no other game out there. You can really rocket out of corners, especially if you catch a rut, but you really get on it. Think if you're riding a real bike, you're going to get on it out of a corner, and if you're not spinning that rear wheel, you're going to hook up and you're going to haul ass. Even on a 250, you're going to move, right? And you actually get that feeling in this game. Now, this compound, I don't think, shows it quite as well. So let's hop over to an actual race with AI, and I can show you a little bit more what I mean with gameplay. I did want to show you that this compound is available, and it's just part of your career. Again, when you go through your career, it's just a bunch of races, and you get those sponsorship deals, you get the team deals, and you just go through an MX2 championship and then an MXGP championship. It's pretty cool, pretty straightforward, but it's fun customizing along with the sponsorships. Now, other stuff in single player, you can do a Grand Prix, which is just a single race weekend, or you can do a championship of your own if you want to come in and maybe do a full MXGP championship and you want to ride a two-stroke, which is the series that I got coming here pretty soon. I had to plug it, but there's just a lot of that. I mean, you can just choose whatever you want to do, get as into it or not as you want. You can do a time attack, which is fun, but it'll be a solo thing. I want to hop into a Grand Prix. Let me just show you something. And you know what? Let's change it up. Let's go to an official rider. We'll ride a 450. Let's do Febvre. Let's hop on his bike, his whole setup. Let's go to a track. Let me think of. There are some really, really fun tracks, and that's another really strong point of this game. I'm gonna hop on Kegums because it's one that I definitely know real well. It's a little bit more of a simple track, but you'll see what I'm talking about here. We're gonna go clear. There are some really awesome weather options. And it's crazy. I mean, it makes it really difficult, and I have to show you that before we get out. But I'm going to start with clear because I think it showcases the physics of the game just that much more. Now, we're going to put it on realistic difficulty, 3 laps. We have the physics on the hard or the pro physics, manual transmission, rewind. Let's turn that off. Now, let's see if I can back up. Okay, good. So we're all set up. Let's hop into a race, and hopefully I can show you a little bit more what the game turns into when you're racing with a bunch of people. Kegums is a really wide open track. It's a really fast one, but I think that'll show you a little bit more of the pace of the game. There's tighter tracks, there's faster tracks, but there's some really, really fun stuff in here. And when you're racing with people, even your buddies, or if you're racing against the AI, it can be really cool because it's almost like in car racing when you're racing a bunch of guys all in the same car in a way. You know how the racing would be. It's going to be close racing. Everyone's going to be trying to hit those lines just perfect and carrying as much speed as they possibly can because you're all in the same car, right? And that's how this feels. It's really great, and that's a positive. Everyone, if you really need to focus on hitting those corners perfect and carrying your speed and hitting those lines perfect and not going too quick into a corner and blowing it. And that's one of the things that makes this so good. I know this is a long review, but I think it deserves it. Let's enjoy it. Let's sit down, talk, and kind of play with this. Again, bike setup, you can change this different stuff with your suspension, whatever. That's something I guess you would get into more when you get pretty serious. I've played with it a little bit in different tracks. You can change the gear ratio, for example, on a fast track, but let's just keep it stock for now. Let's go out on the track. Since we didn't qualify and we're just doing a race, we get the last gate pick all the way here on the outside. It's a tight right here. See if I can get a pretty good start. Ooh. Now, the AI on the hardest difficulty can be definitely challenging. Some tracks, they're not as good as others, I'd say. And on a track like this, I've got it down pretty good, so I think I'm not going to have much trouble. One of my critiques of MXGP 2 was that the AI was just too easy. It's definitely harder in this game. Once you get really good, I don't think you're going to struggle that much. But there are going to be races where you will have a very, very hard time. See how I grabbed all that traction there out of that corner? That's the kind of stuff that makes this so good. Again, the in-air physics might not be your favorite, but don't let that stop you. This game has so much to offer. Remember, I'm shifting while I'm going here. I'm also using my rear brake to settle myself in corners and to maybe rotate the back end around to get myself into a rut or control that bike. You have so much control over the bike in this game. It's great. So like 3-way battle. I'm going to try to huck it down here. Try to give him a little bit of room. Maybe scrub on the outside. See, that's a can. Oh, I got into the back of him. I'm sorry. I'm gonna slow up a little bit. I was hoping I could square under him, but I caught his rear end there. But you can see the potential for speed. Let me focus in and just try to put in a couple good laps and give you a pretty good idea of gameplay. I don't really need to be blabbing the whole time. So let me just shut up for a second, and and hopefully show you guys the sounds and what this game is like. So you get the idea. You notice this is a fast track, so I'll try to pick one that's not quite as fast next time so you have a little bit of an idea. They're not all just open and really simple, silly tracks. I don't want you to think that either. There is a lot to these tracks, and honestly, I think that's one of the strong suits. The tracks in this game are absolutely incredible. They really flow with the racing and with the stuff they give you. And you notice there's ruts. Look at that. You see how I got into that rut and it actually caught me? Let's see if I can catch this one here. Not quite. I kind of blew the line, but keep an eye on that. You'll see the darker sections, even right here. Boom, rut. You see me catch that and then actually rotate my bike? The last MXGP game did not have that, and that is one of the biggest positives of this game. You can catch those ruts, and if you ride it and hit that line just perfect, you're going to be able to get into those ruts, and it's going to hook you. Or you can blow them all like I just did there and crash. It's very easy to do. It can happen so easy, and to really be good. I know a lot of people that don't like this game are more like the sim type players. But if you want to be really good at this game, it actually does take a good bit of skill. You're really going to have to focus in and hit those lines perfect if you want to be competitive online, for example. But the traction in this game, and when I say traction, I don't just mean like, you know, when you get on it the way it feels. It's just the way it feels in the corners. It's the way the ruts actually catch you. The terrain deteriorates. You can see, I mean, it looks way different than that first lap. And I can actually get into these ruts, and it'll slingshot me out like it would in real life. And you actually get that feeling that you just nailed that rut and you're just hauling out of it. It's pretty cool when you get that feeling. Like right there, I actually caught that rut. Same thing right here, see if I can catch that. You can see it actually hit that ridge and it carried me on. So that gives you a great, hopefully, first impression gameplay of what this is actually like and why it's better than just what you might see. I know you have to play it to really get that great feeling from this game. But if you just look at it and go, I don't like the whips, you're an idiot. Okay? that's what I have to say. This game does so many things really well. And the actual gameplay on the ground and the cornering, the braking, the acceleration, the ruts, how the terrain deteriorates, the AI, you can have some great battles. It's a lot of fun. So let's switch this up just a little bit. I want to show you something a little different here. We're going to select rider. We'll go to a custom rider. Let's do my first outfit. Let's see. 252 stroke. Let's hop on that gold sick Husky. I want to show you a 2-stroke so you have an idea of what that's like. It's a bike that I haven't really ridden much, so it'll be fun kind of seeing what this is like together. So let's see, track selection. I could do that same track, but maybe I should do something a little bit different. Let's do Lommel. This is another fast track, but I think for the 2-stroke you almost need to do that. This is that sandy Lommel where we had the Motocross of Nations, I don't know, a few years ago now, 5 years, I don't know, time flies, but it's another fast track. And again, I'll end it on maybe a wet, tight track with rain and stuff, because I do want to show you guys, again, everything this game has to offer. And I think Lommel will be a great track to showcase the 252 stroke. Now, one thing you might notice, I was going to mention this at the beginning, maybe I did, don't remember, but there's usually a lot of music, and I've turned that music off because of YouTube copyright stuff. So normally there'd be music now and in the menus and things like that. I guess it's a little quiet without a bit. Brap, brap. Let's see what this two-stroke's like. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Oh, shit. Excuse my language. Alright, let's try to make some passes here, fellas. This is a difficult track, but it's a fast one. It's a fun one that you can really stay very pinned. This is probably one of the fastest tracks. I know I said I was going to switch to a tight one, but that's next. Tight and wet is next, if you know what I'm saying. Crap. Alright, let's stay pinned here. Cut under, cut under. I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage. I can feel it. Oh, I got into the back of that guy. This is a jump into the corner. See if I can catch that rut. You see it? Yeah, got that pass. That's when you realize how brilliant this game can be. Oh, he got me on the inside, but I caught that rut there. Oh, landed flat. I shouldn't have done that. Again, I'm going to shut up here and let you guys kind of see what the two-stroke gameplay is like and the sounds and everything. Oh no! I deserved that. But you can see, this is a fast track, isn't it? And it's definitely different riding the two-stroke. It definitely has a different feel to it. The power is very different. Oh yeah, getting those passes. This is where the game can be so brilliant. When you're trying to really dice through the pack and be smart about it and ride clean. Like right here is a really fun one. Let's try to launch this into the corner. Go way wide. Try to slingshot, just trying different lines, seeing how much time we make up. Going all the way outside, diving down to the inside, trying to catch that rut. See those ruts? I hope that shows well on YouTube so you can get an idea of what that's actually like. Try to scrub to the inside. Oh, jump over him. Go, go, go. Let's try to catch this guy. Oh, we just did the same thing, same spot. That's one of those where you're really trying to carry speed and push it. Usually, you shouldn't really have a problem there. I'm just being silly, but that's where it gets fun when you're just like, I gotta keep it, like just pinned. I gotta go fast, man. Get a little wheelie action. See if I can catch a little bit of somebody here. This is one of my favorite sections to make a pass. Oh, we slid out. I actually hit that rut. So anyway, that gives you an idea of what the two-stroke is like. Let's bail out of here really quickly and let me end by showing you some of the weather. We're going to do a really rainy race and hopefully that'll give you an idea of what that's like. So let's go for new. Let's go bike selection. Let's get back on a 450. Let's do our KTM again. Now, what would be a good track? Let's do something a little wild. Let's do Matterley Basin. Where's that? There it is. Okay, race options. We'll change this. Obviously, you have all these options. Clear, cloudy, intermittent rain, which is cool, and it changes completely. Just rain, wet track, random. Let's go for rain. Wet track, it'll all be kind of similar in a way. Anyway, you'll see how ridiculous this gets. Let's hop in here. We'll start the race. This isn't a tight track, but it's not flat out like the other one. This has some technical sections, but there are ones that are definitely tighter than this. That's what she said. I wanted to show you guys what the weather was like. That was kind of a must, but it's one of the last things. It's great, don't get me wrong, but I think this game really shines when it is dry. I love the rain for like your championships because it adds variety if you're doing a full big championship and you're like, oh shit, this is a rainy race. But for like multiplayer racing and just enjoying the full physics of the game, I prefer clear or dry tracks because those ruts develop a little bit more. I will admit, in the rain and stuff, it seems like those ruts they're not there like they are when you're doing a clear race. Anyway, let's see what this is like. That wheelie though, you gotta be definitely careful in the rain. You can lose it pretty easy. They did really well with the rain. I don't want it to sound like I'm being negative about it. That was silly. This will be fun though. Let's see if we can come through the pack and make some passes. It's going to be challenging. This track is challenging anyway, and it's really one of those that the AI is really good at just anyways. So it's going to be really fun to try to come through the pack, especially in the rain. And remember, I have the AI on the hardest difficulty. So I think this will be the best possible showcase of what the weather is like in this game. Trying to come through the pack on a 450 at a pretty sweet track. And a somewhat famous track, for sure. Matterley Basin. This is a pretty cool one. I'm all over, but I'm trying to just really move. Oh, try to get around that guy that was down and it bit me. Probably hard to show, but it definitely is pretty slippery. You can see I'm all over the place. That's partially because I'm just riding like a dummy, but it is slippery for sure. Okay, let's try to tidy this up. One thing I've learned in the wet is it's easy to push too hard, but really you just need to focus in. Wow, I haven't ridden this track on a 450 to tell you the truth. I've only ridden it on the 250, and on the 250 you got to hit that big triple step up as flat out as you can to clear it. So let's try to just ride a little bit more clean, a little bit more tidy, try to hit our lines correctly. And really that's when you start going fast, just like in real life. If you're just overriding a wet track, you're going to be all over the place like a goon. But if you're just trying to be nice and smooth and consistent, that's where it's going to really start to pay off. But again, I'll be quiet here for a second so you can kind of see what this is like, what it sounds like without me blabbing. You can see how much fun it is to have battles, even with the AI. Imagine how it is when you're racing your buddies and you're all pretty good at the game. It's like, that's when it can be really cool. But even the AI, I'm having to really think and go outside, inside, try to really use the whole track to try to get around them, and that is just so much fun. Especially when you're trying to grab those ruts. Let's see if we can clear this double downhill. Brap! Oh, that's a pretty big one. Again, I'm just trying to really stay nice and tidy. Catch the people in front of me and not take any giant risks. They're going inside. Let's go outside. I think that inside line's a little quicker, but we'll see. Again, you can see I kind of caught those ruts, but it's slippy. I mean, I'm just pushing outside. Let's go far inside here. Tried to ride it nice and clean. The battles you can have in this game are absolutely incredible. See if we can catch these guys here. Race is almost over. Let's try to finish it strong here with a couple passes. Oh, he got me right back. So we maybe get him all the way around here. Outside to inside, not quite. He still got it. I'm bumping into him. The finish line's here. No, he's got me. Anyway, not the greatest race, but I think that showed you guys a lot of different qualities of the game. I know this has been a very long review, but hopefully I was able to show you everything that really mattered and hopefully change your opinion and show you the positives of the game. I would say the top highlight positives of this game are customization 1, traction 2, the actual possibility of having good battles because you don't crash as easy as other games. You can actually rub and race a little bit and bump, and I would say that's 3. And really, the things that are just make this so good is when you're out on that track and you're just trying to maximize your time and try to really hit the perfect lines, and you're hitting those ruts and you're battling with these guys, and add great customization and good tracks on top of that, and you have a hell of a game. So anyway, hopefully you guys change your mind if you're one of those in-air physics suck guys, because it's a shame if you miss this game. It's a great one. Anyway, thank you for sticking around for this review. Please let me know what you think of the game in the comments, and I appreciate you watching. I'll talk to you later. Peace out.